only the initial figure. My first special guest on the program is Saadia Baba, who is the founder and chief executive of Xperience Pakistan. She curates bespoke holiday experiences to Pakistan. I will also be talking to her about her new project, Sikhana, a lifestyle brand made up of luxury home fragrances, perfumes, and serving platters, which was a pop-up at John Lewis. She's an entrepreneur with an extensive list of achievements while also being the mother of 3 children. She's the founder and CEO of Xperience, that's spelled with an X, by the way, Pakistan, who curate bespoke holiday experiences in Pakistan. Prior to this, she had 15 years' experience as a brand manager for major brands such as Elizabeth Arden, Fanta, Dr. Pepper, and she was an insights consultant to P&G and my favourite store, John Lewis. I was only there yesterday. Her current project is Sikhana, a brand built to bring the essence of Pakistan to everyone. Let's go over to Denham in Buckinghamshire and talk to Saadia. Good morning, Saadia.
Morning, Keith.
Are you sitting there in Denham surrounded by Christmas trees and fake reindeers, or are you kind of Christmas tree free in your home?
No, to be honest, we have a lovely Christmas tree which my husband randomly bought on impulse last year, and the kids decorated this year, and then we've got my sister and brother-in-law coming later for lunch with us, and I've got a day off today because it's my kids and my husband that will be in the kitchen doing it all.
That is wonderful. It's always great to delegate, isn't it, at Christmas? Because it's usually the mums who go into the kitchen and prepare everything and look totally exhausted by the time, well, it's going to be the King's Speech tomorrow comes on. Now, what was the inspiration behind you starting Xperience Pakistan?
So for me, Xperience Pakistan is really my social legacy project, which is how I like to refer to it. It's my way of giving back to the Pakistani community and also to Pakistan. The ultimate goal for me has always been to change perceptions and narratives of the country and its people, both amongst non-Pakistanis, but also, more importantly, amongst the diaspora, who often, unfortunately, are forming their opinions based on how the country and its people are portrayed in the mainstream media. Amongst non-Pakistanis, the country's always been perceived to be dangerous, or it's just not on their radar. And amongst the diaspora, it's either a country that you visit to see relatives or simply to attend weddings, and that's about it.
As you say, it's a different experience to say if you were promoting Dubai, but it is actually an absolutely beautiful country. I have to say the last time I went to Pakistan was about 25 years ago, where I had breakfast.
My God.
I know. I had breakfast on the roof of the Pearl Continental Hotel and fantastic keema, I must say. If you were to promote, I was in Karachi. Now, if you were to promote one aspect, like Dubai obviously has the waterfronts, etc., just one thing where you say, come to Pakistan and see this, what would that one thing be?
So without a doubt, Hunza is almost, for me, it is paradise. I'm not being biased because I'm from Pakistan or I'm trying to promote Pakistan, but, we have a place in Dubai, so we go to Dubai often, and I love it in Dubai. But Hunza, I took my boys in 2019 because I personally like to go and see the routes and vet things out, is when you went there, every aspect of it was mesmerising. It's home to 8 of the highest mountain peaks. But what's lovely about Hunza City specifically, it's not just natural beauty and views, but it's the warmth and hospitality of the people, the food and the culture. And that, to be honest, is one of the key magnets or pulls that many foreigners do visit Pakistan to see.
Now, we're going to come on to part 2 after the break when we're going to talk about when we met and the amazing work you're doing with home fragrances. But just on time management, you juggle a career, you are looking after 3 kids, you've got your own business, somewhere along there's a husband as well. What's your tip to the listeners of Lyca Radio for next year if you've got these multiple hats to wear? What's the best way to time manage? Is it to get a task list together in the morning, or is it something that just comes to you naturally?
I think I've never been one to watch TV, and I don't sleep much. So that almost, gives me a lot of free time to do stuff. I think, I don't have much of a social life at the moment because I am investing all my time with my kids and my business. So I think to anyone, I will say there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make, but look at the light at the end of the tunnel, and that is what will draw you. I'm lucky that I have 3 kids who actually are amazing. My boys, Zayn, Daniel and Musa, are very self-sufficient, both in terms of studying and getting on with just warming their food up. That's why it makes my life easier. And my husband, to be fair, also has learned to become quite self-sufficient while I'm spending a lot of my time either doing pop-ups or events. But I think ultimately, as you say, it is about having the starting the day early. So I'm an early riser, knowing what I'm going to do and have reasonable targets, but also accept that you can't have it all. So, I do, as I said, miss my social life, but I'm hoping that in another 5 years, I'll have a whole team who'll be managing all of this and I can go and socialise and delegate to a team who'll be doing all the work instead of me.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Lyca Radio. I'm having a very interesting conversation with Saadia Baba. She's convinced me to visit Pakistan, but before that, we're going to take a short break.
The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Lyca Radio.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Lyca Radio. I'm talking to Saadia Baba about her life, her time management, but now about her products. The launch of Sikhana in 2020 was a response to the pandemic. Why did you do this? And how did you end up in a store like John Lewis, which is, of course, where we met? You were selling me some of your diffusers.
That's correct. So Sikhana was really my COVID baby. It was born because, like we all know, that India and Pakistan both went on the red list. So suddenly I couldn't take people on 2 holidays to Pakistan, and it wasn't a case of 3 or 4 months. It was actually going to be about 2 years. So Sikhana for me was my way of saying that if I can't take to Pakistan, let me bring it to your home. And actually, Sikhana is a rebrand of Xperience Pakistan Lifestyle. So when I first launched it, I was lazy. I just did Xperience Pakistan Lifestyle. And I kind of created candles and diffusers named after different cities and places in Pakistan. Because what I didn't want is I didn't want people to forget about my brand. And I wanted to keep the tourism aspect alive because just before COVID, Pakistan got great press as a holiday tourist destination. That's my way of keeping it alive. Sikhana is an evolution which I rebranded in August. So Sikhana means to educate in Urdu because that's what I kind of firmly believe, that my products educate people about cultures misrepresented in the mainstream media.
Which is your best selling of all the scents and fragrances you have? The ones that you know are always going to... I mean, oud has become very popular, hasn't it? Is it an oud-based fragrance or something different?
No, actually my best-selling scents are my Punjab the Gulab and my Chambeli Kapoor, and everyone from India and Pakistan in particular loves Chambeli Kapoor. It's nice for me when I see the expression, it brings a smile to their face because it reminds them of home. And this was the first candle I developed because it was something that I wanted to recreate, that scent of the mortia flower that you get in the streets of India and Pakistan.
Now, someone like you must have fought hard to get into John Lewis. It is, of course, the nation's favourite store. It is packed full of people, especially at Christmas. How did you manage to get your pop-up in there? Do you go and bang on the door of the managing director, or do you just send them a fragrance?
No, so actually, to be honest, there's a company called the Great Brand Exchange, and they work with small businesses like mine and are almost the conduit of connecting us to John Lewis. But to get onto John Lewis, you have to have a convincing brand story and a great product. And it's only once you get approved from head office that you're able to go in store. And I believe, for me, what the John Lewis customers often say to me is what they love about my brand is how exotic the scents are, and also the packaging. The packaging consistently comes up. People love that it's not just about the scent. What I try and do is recreate the culture of the subcontinent, people's homes. So my candles with the embellished sleeves are very popular because for me it's bringing the culture into your homes, and that's what I want people to enjoy. That it's a sensorial experience, not just the scent, but also visually.
Now, I was over shopping in Oxford Street this week, and I noticed, of course, the Arabian Oud store. Who cannot get to the Arabian Oud? As you go past, you have a marvellous scent of oud, and then it's back to Calvin Klein. When are we going to see a Sikhana store on Oxford Street? Come on, give me a prediction. Is it going to be 2024?
I certainly hope so, Keith. That is, to be honest, my ultimate goal at the moment is to try and get presence, be that a standalone store or a concession counter in the likes of Selfridges or Harvey Next. For me, because I know you do a lot of work with the Integration Foundation, and that's my big bugbear, whether that's with John Lewis or any of these, bearing in mind my background as a consultant, is that the problem is the high street is not reflective of modern day Britain. It's still very European, white, middle class. And I think one of the key reasons is that in the head offices of all of these companies, you've got people from white, middle class background. You don't have the diversity. And if you don't have a diverse group of buyers, you're never going to get them to understand that actually in your store, Selfridges, to be fair, I think are a bit better, but you need to have brands that are founded by Asian or black backgrounds, and it's not a case of having the white middle class brand almost doing a cultural misappropriation where they're taking aspects and promoting under their banner.
Yeah.
And that's a big passion of mine.
Saadia Baba, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm afraid I've got a bit of a cold. I've had it for the last 4 weeks, as the listeners will know. So my ability to smell is gone, but I'm now yearning for Sikhana. I'm just yearning for it. And just because of that, I shall be popping into John Lewis to see if you're there. Thank you for joining us today. We've always asked our special guests to choose a song that means something really special to them and to dedicate it to someone special. Which song would you like to choose and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
I would like to choose Purani Jeans by Ali Heather, and I want to dedicate this to actually all your listeners at Lyca Radio, but also to my well-wishers along my journey, my friends, my siblings, my customers, my husband Faraz, my little brother Ali, who's been an investor in my business, but most importantly, my parents, and Abu Jan, but in particular my dad, Abu Jan, who's always believed in me when I didn't and shown me the glass half full at moments when I was seeing it half empty.
You know something? That is the longest name check that we've ever had on Lyca Radio. It's good to know that you pay tribute to all the people who helped you achieve what you've achieved. That's fantastic. I'm so pleased to hear all their names. I hope you are all listening today and give her a big round of applause. Thank you for joining us. Have a fabulous Christmas Eve and a fabulous Christmas Day tomorrow.
Thank you, Keith, for having me on the programme today, and best wishes to all your listeners at Lyca Radio.
Let's hear Saadia Baba's song.
जाती है